Okay, so we got the green started. I think that I'll be able to add some black to the green to get the shadow of it. So I'm going to mix a black over here. I think I can see that that's got too much brown in it, so I'm going to add just a little bit more blue. You notice what I don't have on my palette today that I usually have? Yeah, wonderful question. I'm thinking that there's some white in that green box, but other than that, this is pretty much all going to be intense color and its shadows. I don't really see a lot of white. White sometimes just makes things look pasty. There might be just a little bit of white here in this red, just here on the edge and on this block, but other than that, I think everything else is going to be pretty much a straight color. Okay, so let's start out with the lightest area of the green on the right-hand side. Now, what you want to try to do is get your values to all relate to each other pretty well. I'm thinking that this is a slightly more intense color. These artists' acrylic paints may be a little bit better to mix than the house paints that I mixed up there to get those values. So, even though this is not exactly the same as what's happening in still life, I think that this is a good enough green to go with. We're talking about, it's more fun to paint than it is to watch somebody paint, so I appreciate you all kind of hanging in there with me, but I think that this is going to make things happen a lot easier for you when we get to next Tuesday.
Make it sound like holiday.
What's that?
Make it sound like something like, oh, nice little green here.
Well, Bob Ross, he has that already going, so I can't. Bob Ross Foundation will soon. He owns that language.
This is going on YouTube. Virtual fame.
Now that I'm looking at more and more, I'm starting to see more red get into that green above the block. You guys see that just a little bit?
Oh, yeah. I see it. On the right side above the block. Like a peachy shadow.
There's two shades of green.
Maybe I'll see
Dark
it.
and light and dark.
When we finish this demo, I'll put another color up there and I'll show you more about how you can see it. But so let's see if I can just get a little red into here. And that red is strong. I'm going to have to turn the audio on this.
Trying to find his niche. You gotta find your Bob Ross, green or Bob. It's in there though.
Okay, so I got mud. There's nothing more I can do with that. I lost the green in it, and I could keep adding color to it, but it's just no good. So I'll have to start all over with some more yellow and green. So that was probably 2/3 yellow and 1/3 green to get this green right here. Okay, now let's try this one more time. A little bit of green over here. Just add a little bit of red to it. Just that much. Bless you.
Thank you.
I'm not convinced that I've got the right color, but I'm going in the right direction. I'm thinking it should be a little bit darker than what I have. So it should go from dark green to a darker red green. I may have to use a darker green to add to this next time. Maybe I have too much yellow in it. I'm going to let this dry. I may come back and fix it. Also, this is just painting one class, so I might just let it go. All right, now, I think that there's not as much red being reflected on this side of the box than there is right in here. So I've got a kind of the same idea where I'm going to have a light green, and next to light green, and then a shadow of green, and there'll be a little red in there, but not as much as there is right here because it's actually sitting right next to a red plane. So I'm going to do this green box right in here next. And I will need some white now. I don't know if you got my email, but they got all the supplies now, so you guys can go today and be able to get your supplies. What do you think? Is that about the right value?
Yeah.
It's gonna always look dark when you have it on something white, so you just almost have to wait until you get other dark values beside it to see how accurate it is. I think you're right that I'm not quite as dark on the top because I think the light is not coming down at a 45. Does that make sense to you guys? You guys play pool? Can you read angles? The light's coming more straight on than at a 45. It came down at a 45-degree angle. If it came down at a 45-degree angle, I could argue that these are equally lit. If it came down higher than a 45, like at a 60, I'd argue that the top is more greatly illuminated. But because it's coming down less than a 45, I'm going to say this is lighter than the top.